With the exception of Lamar Odom in 2011 and Montrezl Harrell in 2020, all winners of the Sixth Man of the Year award over the past 15 years all had something in common. All of them were guards whose jobs were basically to come off the bench and pile up points for their respective teams. And this template looks like it still applies to this season's edition of the Sixth Man of the Year race. Well, if you look at it, conversations regarding the award, especially towards the home stretch of the season, have been revolving around guys like Derrick Rose, who's been killing it as a veteran presence off the bench for the Knicks, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Jalen Brunson, who both have had their big moments as complementary pieces to the Dallas Mavericks offense, and of course, Jazz swingman Jordan Clarkson, who has been pretty much considered as a lock for the award since the first few months of the season because of his consistent scoring off the bench and because of just the overall impact that he brings to the top-seeded Utah Jazz team. And while Clarkson still might be the favorite to win it all as of the moment, his Jazz teammate Joe Ingles has emerged as a real strong contender for the award as well, especially during the latter part of the season, with a number of media outlets even considering him as a better choice over Clarkson. Well, I mean, it's not like either of the two would actually really care if they lost the award to their teammate, and to be fair, I think both guys have made really strong cases as legitimate off-the-bench spark plugs for the NBA's best team. But still, in this video, we'll analyze both guys' cases and we'll look into what past winners could potentially tell us about the Sixth Man of the Year race. And as ridiculously good as Joe Ingles has been this season, I'll tell you why Jordan Clarkson should still end up as the Sixth Man of the Year winner. So what's good, guys? It's Rero Balls here, and before we move on, if you happen to enjoy content like this, please make sure to hit that like button, as it definitely helps the channel's content to reach more people. It only takes a second of your time, but it will be much appreciated. So let's get to it. In 67 games played during the regular season, Jordan Clarkson has been averaging 18.2 points, 4.1 rebounds, together with 0.9 steals per game, while shooting a really excellent 89.2% from the foul line, all of which are career highs for the 7th-year guard. While you don't really need to dig that deep to see how overwhelming of a presence he has been off the bench for the Jazz, as throughout the course of the season, Clarkson has started only one game and has come off the bench the rest of the way. And with that, he has been leading all bench players in the entire NBA in scoring, with at least a 1.5 point lead over second placer Tim Hardaway Jr. in points per game average. He also leads all NBA reserves in field goals made and field goal attempts, and interestingly enough, out of all players who have played at least 15 games coming off the bench this season, Clarkson joins Davis Bertans as the only two players who are making at least 3 3-pointers a game. So I think Clarkson's case as the Sixth Man of the Year just can't be understated in any way. I mean, he's been consistently bringing that much needed scoring punch for the Jazz all throughout the year. His 18.2 points per game ranks second to Donovan Mitchell on the team, and overall, he has scored in double digits except on only 4 occasions out of all the 67 games he's played this season. But if there's any knock on Clarkson's case, such a thing could probably be found in his efficiency. While if you look at it, his shooting percentages really started on a high note. For the first 2.5 months of the season, he shot 45.7% from the field and 38.2% from deep, which are really good shooting numbers. But the thing is, his percentages have significantly dropped to 37.6% from the field and 31% from 3 for the months of March and April. So basically, if you're looking for a hole in Clarkson's case, then this could be it. But as of this video, Clarkson has played 8 games for the month of May towards the final stretch of regular season games, and actually, his percentages have once again increased to 46% shooting from the field and 33.4% from deep during those last 8 games. So basically, his shooting numbers aren't as off the hook as it was to start the season, but it's actually back to a respectable clip. I mean, he's attempting an average of 8 3-point shots a game, which is really high volume. But that's because Coach Quin Snyder just lets him take as many shots as he needs to, because throughout the year, it's been quite established that Utah's offense has gained more whenever Clarkson has utilized his green light to shoot. But looking at it, Joe Ingles' case is quite different. I mean, his scoring definitely isn't as prolific as Clarkson's, but you can definitely see how ridiculously efficient he has been this year. Joe Ingles is only averaging 12.1 points, but is shooting a crazy 45.3% from 3-point range and 49% from the field overall, which are career high numbers for him as well. I mean, his percentages are really off the hook, and if you dig deeper, you'll see that he's really playing at a historic rate this year, and he's also one of the reasons why the Jazz have been this good. Joe Ingles is actually putting up a 65% effective field goal percentage, which ranks second in the league this season to Rudy Gobert. And if you aren't aware, no other player who stands below 7 feet tall is actually ranked in the top 10 of effective field goal percentage in any season in NBA history ever. but Ingles ranks second in that category this season. I mean, Ingles stands like 6'8" and he plays shooting guard or small forward, but as the numbers suggest, he's basically shooting at a rate similar to how a 7-footer scores at the rim, which means that he's really playing super efficient basketball for a perimeter player. And also, his playmaking has been a huge part of Utah's offense. His 4.7 assists ranks third in the team behind Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell, and I mean, if you watch him play, you can see that Ingles has just really found his identity this season, not only as a scorer but also as someone who knows how to facilitate for teammates, whether it be by fighting the open man on the corners or by running the pick and roll. So at this point, I think Ingles has already made a pretty solid case as the main bench piece for this Jazz team, but I think one knock towards his case could be made just by looking at the sheer number of games which he has started this year. I mean, Ingles has started 29 games this season. Well, don't get me wrong, I think the fact that he has been relied on to be on the starting lineup whenever someone is out just means that he's just that good of a player. And to be fair, any player can actually qualify for the 6th Man of the Year award as long as that player plays at least half of his games coming off the bench, which of course makes Joe Ingles very much qualified. But the fact that Clarkson is just basically stuck into a bench role consistently throughout the year out of that one single game that he started, I think just further strengthens his case. And also, it's not like this should be a discussion about scoring production versus efficiency, but historically, you'll see that the 6th Man of the Year award has almost always been given to a player who just racked up a lot of points off the bench. And in 8 of the last 9 years, all winners have been one of the top 3 bench scorers in the league, with the only exception being Jamal Crawford back in 2016 when he won the award despite only ranking number 9 in bench scoring at 14.2 points per game. I mean, Joe Ingles only ranks number 12 in bench scoring this season while Clarkson actually ranks number 1 overall. But this isn't something new. Things like this have happened before. I mean, Andre Iguodala I think could have won the 6th Man of the Year award on multiple occasions just with the overall impact that he had for those top-seeded Warriors teams. But he ultimately lost to guys like Lou Williams, Jamal Crawford, and Eric Gordon, who were all Spitfire guards who just really scored much more than him. Well, I mean, a classic case would be in 2017 when Eric Gordon averaged 16.2 points while shooting over 40% from the field and over 37% from deep while playing for the 3rd-seeded Houston Rockets, and he did win the award over Iguodala. That season, Iggy played for the top-seeded Golden State Warriors, shooting almost 53% from the field and almost 43% from deep, while also having much better rebounding and assist numbers than Eric Gordon, while playing his usual type of effective defense. But the problem was, he only averaged 7.6 points per game that season. So I mean, the overall impact and efficiency that a player brings as an off-the-bench guy is really going to be crucial to a team's success. But whether we like it or not, historically speaking, the 6th Man of the Year award will most likely go to someone who just really racks up a ton of points. But it's not that Jordan Clarkson should win it all just because he scores better than any other bench player in the league, because if you compare his percentages to past winners over the last 10 years who play the same position as him, you'll see that Clarkson's numbers are actually just as good, if not even better. Looking at the past 10 6th Man of the Year winners, with the exception of Montrezl Harrell and Lamar Odom who played as either centers or power forwards, Clarkson's 42.3 field goal percentage this season is actually higher than the percentages produced by J.R. Smith, Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams, and Eric Gordon when those guys won the 6th Man of the Year award within a 5-season span from 2013 to 2017. And excluding Jamal Crawford's 2014 season, Clarkson's 18.2 points per game average is also higher than all those players' averages when they won the award. And it's also higher than James Harden's scoring average during the Beard's 6th Man of the Year winning season in 2012. And out of all those 6th Man of the Year winning guards of the past 10 seasons, Clarkson's 4.1 rebounds also ranks as the 2nd best rebounding average next to J.R. Smith's 5.3 rebounds in 2013. So as you can see, there's really no anomaly here, unlike what other people have been suggesting. Clarkson is really playing just as how you would expect the NBA's top reserve to play as suggested by the numbers. But overall, I mean, we can put out all the stats we want, we can base it all on scoring or efficiency or whatever, but this comparison wasn't made to throw any shade to Joe Ingles' great play. I mean, Ingles has been ridiculously good this season, and a lot of the 6th Man of the Year contenders just bought into their role for the teams coming off the bench really well too. But in my opinion, putting the numbers aside, Jordan Clarkson just has a really stronger case to win it all than anyone else, and he even has a good narrative to back it up. Ever since being traded to Utah, has fit into his role as a microwave type of scorer off the bench who not only made shots, but also became a more efficient player by basically shifting his scoring focus to the 3-point line and from within 3 to 10 feet of the basket, which are considered to be the most efficient scoring areas in the NBA today. And I think that's a huge reason why the Jazz have been outscoring opponents tremendously and why they're the best team in the NBA this season. And the stats don't lie, the numbers don't lie. Jordan Clarkson, I think, is hands down the 6th Man of the Year. So what do you guys think? Is Jordan Clarkson really a lock to win this year's 6th Man of the Year award? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below, and if you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing as well. Again, this is Rero Balls, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.